Welcome back to Becoming. My name is Nick Slater. Today on the show, a very special guest. I know her pretty well. She lives in the bedroom next door. Introducing my lovely girlfriend, Zoë Markel.
I'm glad you got my name right.
Yeah, we may have had a few false starts there. The thing is, you hate it when people say you're Zoë Markel.
I do.
And
Take note, people.
When I was delivering that introduction, there was a split second in my brain trying to figure out which one it was because I desperately didn't want to say the wrong one.
It's okay. We've only been together a year.
And I screwed it up. But thanks for coming in. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. A little bit nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Got a nice gin and tonic here to wet the whistle.
No one watches the show anyway, so and we can edit anything out. So I want you to be honest. I want you to be raw and just give me as much shit as you usually do.
Easy.
So the reason I want to get you on the show is because it's a show about relationships, but also since we started dating and I've talked about you on the show so much, I get so many requests from people asking you to come on. Honestly do. And preparing for this today, we put up on my Instagram story asking people to shoot us through some questions. And in 2 hours, I've got pages and pages of questions. And they're really great questions as well. So we might have to do a round 2 just to get through them all.
Oh, only if you pay me.
Look, the show's not making any money.
Well, maybe it will now I'm on it.
Yeah, maybe that's what
Give
we've
the
been
people
needing.
what they want.
Yeah, we'll jump into those questions soon, but I thought we'd do just a little catch-up, little intro so people can put a voice and a face to the name that they've heard so many times before. And I guess we can start at the trip that we just got back from. So if you don't know, we went over to England and Spain and Portugal for 3.5 weeks.
And France.
And it was the first time meeting your family and your home friends. So I want to know what that was like for you, combining two worlds like that.
It was honestly the best feeling because FaceTime just isn't the same. And I've spoken so much, especially my best friend Lucy, if she's listening to this, she'll love the shout out.
Shout out, Lucy.
You know, I voice noted her so much about our relationship from the beginning, from the get-go. And when you guys met, it was just like my best friend, boy and girl, coming together. And it was just incredible.
Yeah, and she's not just a best friend. You guys grew up, you're basically sisters. You grew up together. You lived in each other's houses.
Yeah.
You spent so much time together. We'll have to get that photo.
Oh, no.
Do you know where it is?
Yeah, it's on the kitchen bench.
So the girls, if you can't see or if you're listening, they've put face makeup on to make it look like they've been victims of domestic abuse. So how old do you think you were here?
Oh, 9? Look, not domestic abuse, just any abuse. We just wanted to look like we'd been beaten up.
And the funny thing is, Lucy's dad's a judge. So she's walked out onto the street. You guys have walked out into the street and the whole neighborhoods think that her dad has beaten you guys up.
Well, it could have been Sam, Alice, brothers, sisters, could have been anyone.
That's a good point. Was it hard to cram seeing all your home friends and your family into a week?
Oh, 100%. It's always, I think for expats, it's the hardest thing. When you go home, it's not a holiday at all. You literally see someone every day because you are there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you have minimal time.
Yeah.
So it is exhausting, but it's our decision to live over here, so I wouldn't change it.
Especially London, because London is go, go, go.
Yeah.
Party, party, party. And we had 3 big nights. And then, then we went down to do the family portion of the trip. You want to bring your energy every single second of that trip.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say it's exhausting because, you know, you choose to do it and you want to do it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot. It's a lot to cram in.
Yeah. We made it work. You especially did so good. Because it's easier for me, it's my friends and family, but you were on the whole time. You couldn't really relax.
But I'm naturally funny, so.
Well. No, you were amazing. I couldn't have asked for.
Were there any surprises?
I think probably just how Aussie you are and me not realising, like when you said to Lucy, how did you pull up after that big night? And she's like, how did I pull where? And I'm like used to that lingo now. And there are a few things you said that people were like, what does he mean? And I'm like, I
was like, Lucy, how'd you pull up? And she just stared into space trying to work out what the hell I was talking about before eventually saying, sorry, what?
But she would have said a T. What?
What, of course. Yes. We don't miss our T's
in
Southwest London.
There you go.
So tell me, what was it like me meeting your family?
Oh, that was just like a dream. I actually took so many videos just of you like talking to mum and dad because I wanted those memories.
Don't think you got my permission for that.
Well,
Bit creepy.
they're doing well on TikTok. So, but no, it was, it couldn't have gone better. I think I was worried that both sides would be nervous because it's a big deal. But the moment you walked in and they just gave you those massive bear hugs and mum got the beers out and dad's on the barbecue, it was just like so easy. It's like you'd been there forever.
Yeah, it felt very natural.
The cutest thing for me was how well you and my brother Henry got on because obviously I think he's 29. So there's a bit of an age gap between you two. And I know that you've got some things in common, but I was like, oh, Henry's a bit more shy, you're a bit more outgoing. So seeing you two just get on so well, cracking jokes. And yeah, I remember you were like, oh, Henry's really funny. And he said the same thing to me about you. And I was like, oh my God, they're getting on. And then the cutest bit was when we got back here, I think we were on the sofa and I looked over and you were texting my brother. And that's so small, but I don't even know if I've told you that, but when I looked and it just made me feel so like cup full and see you guys still carrying on that relationship past visiting home means so much.
Love the little family you got over there.
And what about you? Any surprises of me taking you home, anything you thought would be different or?
I think your home friends, I was really excited to meet Lucy, of course, but then beyond her, I didn't really know what to expect. So it was so special hanging out with the whole crew.
Yeah.
And I just remember, because we spent a fair bit of time in the UK, then over in Spain as well. Just remember, there's the most lovely bunch of people who are so welcoming and so normal. And I've never felt so welcome into a group straight away or so comfortable. And when I thought about it, I've spoken to so many friends who say that you are the most pure, nicest person they've ever met. And you don't have an ego and you're just so approachable and easygoing. And they're all like that. And that makes sense because we are the product of the people we spend our time around. So for you guys to grow up together, it's no surprise that you're all similar like that. You know, being over there, did you have any feelings of wanting to move back over, taking me over, or by yourself?
See you. No, like I think when we visit home, you need to realise that it's always in summer. So it's always going to be the highlight reels of London. When you go home and you have like 5 months of winter and it's dark even dark when you come home, like I remember those times very well.
Yeah.
No, I'd do a stint with you, like if you wanted to go back for 3 months over a summer or something, if we ever had kids, but I definitely think here is home and I've known that for a while.
Do your parents give you any grief about being out here and not living in the UK with them?
No, I've actually been so lucky. They've been so supportive from the get-go. And I think that's because they both love to travel, or did when they were younger.
Because you started traveling pretty young.
Yeah, Lucy and I actually went backpacking around Southeast Asia. Then I did the east coast of Australia on my own, which was quite crazy. Yeah, we've done loads of trips. And I think that really sort of defines you as a person because you meet so many people and you challenge yourself going out into a bar and you don't know anyone and you have to make friends, and putting yourself in situations that are uncomfortable, I think, helps you grow.
Yeah, because babe, how old were you when you first travelled?
Oh, South Africa when I was at uni.
Yeah.
So I went there for an internship when I was 18, 19, I think, for 3 months, which was crazy. Survived an armed robbery. And I was over there saving animals, which is my passion. So,
what happened with the armed robbery?
The first bit of the trip was on a game reserve outside Joburg, which obviously is renowned for being very dangerous. My parents were like, Zoe, please don't go, just go to Cape Town. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. You know, when you're young and you're just invincible. I was like, I can do it. And then literally, I think it was 2 weeks in, I was in this big shared intern house and it was like 2 a.m. and I woke up to what I thought was fireworks naively. And the other girl was like, no, I think they're gunshots. And I'm just thinking, like, this can't be real. Am I dreaming? And then I knew it was serious when the lady who ran the internship ran into our bedroom, was like, everyone in the kitchen now. And she starts like bolting the doors. The husband's on the phone to the police.
And are you hearing multiple gunshots?
Yeah. Like they were getting closer as well. You could hear now. Because we had 3 lines of defense. We had the outside electric fence, then the guard dogs, and then our security guard. And they'd actually shot our security guard. Luckily, he survived. He was amazing. It just skimmed his ribs. And And
Just brush it off.
yeah, I know. He's a champion. But they were cutting through the electric fence. And as soon as they got in, we were unarmed. So I just kept thinking the worst. And then it probably was only 5 minutes, but it felt like forever. Yeah. And the police couldn't find our compound because we were on a game reserve with no lights, no roads, no markers. And trying to sort of guide them through the bush at night was just impossible. But I remember seeing the lights of the blue and red sort of sirens and just thinking, oh my God, we're going to like live. Yeah. And it was crazy.
Because what would have happened if they got in?
They said they probably have raped and killed us because we were white. And yeah, so that was a big wake up call. And I think I really did have a bit of an epiphany after that. Like, you know, live each day like it's your last. And it was, crazy.
So that was a bit of a turning point for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just teaches you to appreciate things more and be grateful for the little things, you know.
Anywhere in the world, if we were to do a 3-month working holiday, where would you choose?
Fiji, where I haven't been.
Have you been to Fiji?
No.
Okay, because I know you've seen all of these Instagram reels of beautiful Fiji, and it's the top of your priority list.
I could get a job as like, you know, looking after the stray animals.
What stray animals do they have over there?
I don't know. Monkeys?
So you want to look after the monkeys in Fiji. Yeah, so to give people context, you used to work in a shelter, and that's where you fell in love with this idea of rehoming stray animals.
Yes, adopt, don't shop people.
Yeah, and that's what Oscar is. He's a stray.
Yeah, so Oscar is my COVID cat who ended up staying. So I was fostering him for 8 weeks and obviously bonded with this thing. He was sleeping in my bed every night. We were talking to each other. He was my savior. And then it came to the time where they were like, okay, you have to give him back now or adopt him. And on my visa, I couldn't adopt animals at the time. So it was a nightmare. Anyway, fast forward, I ended up being able to. And 4 years later, here we are with him.
Yeah. He's the funniest cat. He's got so much personality. One morning he'll come out, he'll be so needy that he'll just be meow, 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 meow. Other mornings he'll look at us like we're a piece of shit. You never know what you're going to get.
I know.
And
Keeps on his toes.
Look what he's done to my hand. If you can see that.
Yeah, that's, we need to cut his claws, I think.
He's drawn blood in multiple.
But you do ask for it. You play wrestling with him. Like, what are you expecting?
I've got scars all over my hands now.
I think it makes you look cool.
It's time my hands got a bit manly, I think.
Rough them up a bit.
Okay, so you've chosen Fiji. I think I'd go.
Oh, yeah. Where would you?
I'd probably go to Lisbon.
You're obsessed with Lisbon.
I love Lisbon. Well, you loved it too.
No, I do. But like 3 months in a city when you could be at a beach sipping a margarita and looking after monkeys.
Yeah, but it's got to be a working holiday. So we've got to do some work.
I'm looking after animals.
But my work is online. And now yours is too, because you are a fundamental part of this podcast.
Thank you.
But no, Lisbon, I love it because you do have the beach half an hour away. It's kind of like Sydney. Do you remember that night our phones both ran out of battery and we spent an hour trying to navigate through the hilliest city on earth on an electric scooter without any maps?
That was hell.
And I've got the funniest memory in my mind of I was refusing to give up the scooter, so I'm driving up the scooter on the hill.
What happened to chivalry?
And it's like, this is only going to take one of us. And you're like, okay, I'll jump off and run. So you were running up this hill next to me, panting like a happy golden retriever. It's like, just having the time of your life.
Why is it when you're drunk you can run so well? Like, I can't run up hills for the best of times.
You were a marathon runner that night.
I know.
An hour later, we got home.
You made me ask several people, and I have the memory of a fish. So they would tell me it's left, right, left. And I'm like, got it. And I go back over to you and you're like, so what was it? And I was like, left? I've forgotten. And then we'd have to ask someone else. And then
but you were just there for the good time because you weren't even keen to memorize that at all. You were just there to meet people.
Yeah,
so,
I was just...
so where should we go? And they're like, left, right, left, right. And you're like, okay, have a nice night. Off you trot. I'm like, Zoe, we actually do need to sleep at some point.
And then the worst bit was rocking up to the Four Seasons next to like Bentleys, Ferraris, and we're just coming in on that fucking scooter.
With 25% battery, so it's just like really slow stop. It's like, obrigado. Do you enjoy, I threw you in the deep end with some travel content because we did a bunch of collabs over there and it's a great way to experience beautiful hotels you probably wouldn't otherwise stay in. Do you enjoy the travel content side of things?
oh, well, it's easy for me. You do it all. I just have like a free videographer and I get all these free stays. So
I've got a pretty sexy model I can chuck in there.
oh, that's kind.
But it's not for everybody, but it's such a nice way to reconnect with the joys of photography and filmmaking, because sometimes when you're doing skits or just day-to-day content, it becomes a bit mundane and routine.
Yeah.
But going over there and pulling the camera out, pulling the drone out, really got to reconnect with that childlike joy.
And I think also my friends were asking me this, you know, like how much time do we spend doing that while we're on holiday? Like, does it get in the way of our days? And I remember you're just so quick at it. Like, you'll film something and it's always a first take, and then you can edit it and stitch it together before I've even woken up.
If any listeners want to us to help promote their hotel,
Fiji.
become a sponsor of the show and we'll do an episode in your hotel in Fiji.
And Nick will take his clothes off.
Oh, Jesus. It's not that kind of content, Zoe. Save that for OnlyFans. Should we jump into some questions?
Let's do it.
So pages and pages of amazing questions in just a few hours, so we might have to come back and do another episode on this if we don't kill each other.
Are you asking me for
Let's just see how we go first. Okay. But do you want to read them out?
Yeah, I'll read them out.
Okay.
So Che, Ash and Chris say, how did you guys meet and what were first impressions?
Yeah, so a bunch of people asked how we first met, so combining a few of these.
Well,
we met. This is quite a contentious story because we've both got two opinions on it. But Zoe slid into my DMs.
you added me first. Guys, he followed me and I followed back, and then he didn't say anything after. What a coward.
Okay, it is true. I was on a golf weekend with Tom, Dion and Rob and saw you. No, so I saw you on Raya, but you hadn't liked me back.
Well, I didn't know how to use that bloody app.
That's what they all say.
Oh.
So I creepily followed you across to Instagram, and which is, I mean, it's a bit uncouth to do. It's a bit creepy.
Nah.
But gave you the follow. But I didn't want to say anything because I just thought I'd let it sit there and I'd reply when I finished the golf weekend.
Well, normally when someone follows you back, then, you know,
it's on.
Ball's back in your court and it's fucking crickets. And I remember it. So I went for a walk that morning with my other bestie, Sophie. Shout out to Mama Hotch. And we, obviously girls tell each other everything, right? So she's been on this whole journey with me. I'm like, oh, screenshot, this guy's followed me. I think he's really hot. She's like, follow back, yeah. And then I'm like, he hasn't said anything. And she's like, he will wait. And then by that next morning, you still hadn't. She was like, right, we're going to put together a message that's going to make him reply. And I'm like, so nervous. I'm like, I think you need to run with this one. So basically the first like initial conversation you had was with Sophie and not even me.
Really?
Because we were in, what's the cafe with all the books on?
Gertrude and Alice.
Yeah. We're in there having our matches and she's taking the lead. And yeah, I think she said something like, hey, Nick, have we met? I mean, such a simple line, but it took about half an hour to curate. And
which
then it
was
worked.
perfect because it disarmed me immediately, put me on the back foot.
It did.
And instead of being like, yeah, I think we have met at that party, I'm just like, look, no, but I'd like to.
Yeah.
And it was just on from there.
Yeah.
And we set up a date that Thursday, right?
Yeah, Carbon. I remember it
Yeah,
very
just down
well.
the road. What was the second half of that question? What did we...
Oh, yeah. And what were first impressions?
First impressions. Well, I think, first impressions before the date was so wonderful because we were both just chatting openly.
Yeah.
And in dating, so often people are scared to be vulnerable because it's scary, right? Putting yourself out there. So oftentimes people are a bit reserved or they're playing a game. They don't want to reply too quick, or there's 1,000 different games that people play.
Oh, that's not me. I'm like a instant reply, triple message.
Which was perfect because we were both at that stage. And I think it is because we knew what we wanted. We thought we were that person. So we're like, yep, let's dive in.
I also think it's nice that you took the lead and asked for a date quite soon after we first started, because nothing worse than being a pen pal, especially when you like have that lust and connection and you just want to meet them. You may as well do all those questions over a drink rather than over Instagram Messenger,
Yeah, and you don't really know what if it's going to be compatible until you meet them in person.
Yeah.
So if you can, try and arrange a catch up.
Yeah.
Or a date,
Yeah.
even better. As soon
But
as
I
you
think
can.
our banter was quite good from the get-go. Do you remember when the other month we went back through our messages to the top? And it's quite funny looking back on it now. But
It was pretty steamy,
yeah,
a bit risky.
I think that's our Scorpio energy.
Yeah.
We're a double Scorpio relationship, which is could have been really bad, could have been fiery, jealous mess, but we've gone the other way.
Yeah.
Passionate.
Yeah, so there was initial chemistry for sure. And then initial impressions when you walked in was obviously beautiful. Probably shorter than I had imagined.
I get this a lot. I'm not short.
Well, I think because you've got such long legs.
I don't know. I've got a long torso.
I don't know. Something gave me the impression that you were taller in your Instagram.
I think it's wide.
Do other people
I
tell
think
you
it's
that?
wide angle. Yeah, I've heard that actually recently as well.
Yeah.
Not that it's a bad thing, but
it's not a bad
am I just like really short then? No. I'm 5'5". I think that's quite average.
Pocket rocket.
You're just trying to get yourself out of a hole now.
Then at the date, it was amazing. We just hit it off, and my impressions were you gorgeous, and obviously I loved your accent and loved your energy, and there was just, like I was saying before, no one was holding back. We were just both open.
I was so nervous
Were
though.
you?
Oh my God. I was on the phone to a friend before, like having a pep talk, had a glass of wine. I think because I really fancied you, I think when you like someone, you get more nervous. And so, yeah, I remember just before I stepped in, I was like, oh my God, what do I shake his hand? Do I hug him? Do I kiss him? What do you do? I went completely weird.
I'm so glad you didn't shake my hand.
Imagine.
Lead with a handshake.
And then, I walked in and you sat on the right in that little nook, which is cute. And it was you just made me feel at ease from the get-go. And I think the margaritas helped, but it was such a lovely first date. We talked for hours and hours. I think we were the last in there. And then we didn't want the date to end. So we went across the road to the Royal to play some pool and had our first kiss, which is always cute.
Over a game of pool.
Yeah.
Really.
I made the first move again, though. I kissed you.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm just a bit shy. I didn't want to assume that it was on, and I'm usually quite traditional. Like I will wait until be as respectful as I can. And I don't know. I just didn't, I think because I really liked you, I didn't want to give the wrong impression.
Aww.
I wanted to set a really good foundation and show you that I wasn't just there to go to bed with you.
Yeah. And I think, going back to first impressions again, our conversation, we were able to get quite deep, literally within a couple of hours of knowing each other.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks volumes about how we just connected from the start.
Yeah, exactly.
The next question is from Boulevard. What made you fall for Zoe and vice versa? Or is that similar?
We've got a little visitor. Hey, buddy.
Oh, he looks so long.
Long boy. Our intense physical attraction,
Yeah.
for sure, always helps in the early days. And just our openness with chatting, and I loved your story and just how interesting it was. And it's to meet someone who grew up on the completely other side of the world, that really was appealing to me because it felt like my world was opening up and expanding.
Yeah.
It was pretty clear early on that our values aligned, I think. It's not like
Yeah.
you need to address every single one, but you get a feeling that they're aligned and
Yeah.
talking about what we wanted for the future, and it just felt very comfortable and at ease so early on.
Yeah. I think for me, it was just really your looks. I'm joking. But I do remember thinking, oh my God, this is like my dream boy. What made me fall for you though? Probably just how kind and caring and nurturing you are, and funny. Just you are sometimes.
Had to add that in there.
I think I laugh at you more than with you.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
still, you make me laugh. But you really are the whole package. And I thought there
got
must
a
be
big package.
something.
Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Your mum might be listening to this. But yeah, good package.
Jesus.
But no, I think when I saw on Instagram that you were an influencer, it threw me a bit because I've always,
Content creator.
yeah, sorry, I hate that word. I think I assumed you might be a bit arrogant or full of yourself or be dating for fun and not to settle down. You know, all those things go through your head. But you were just so normal in the best way, like so down to earth. You had no ego. You're so modest about everything. And all my friends said the same when they met you.
Thank you, darling. It's very nice.
Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so I've combined 2 questions here. Joe says, are you anxious, avoidant, or both secure? And Sarah says, were any attachment styles triggered when you first met? Very good questions.
I guess I did develop a bit of a avoidant attachment style because of, you know, my upbringing where mum and dad broke up when I was 13. Did a lot of work on that in my 20s. When I had that breakup in my late 20s, I had to do a lot of work on myself because my life had sort of flipped on its head. Anyways, all that to say that when we came together, I felt like I'd done enough work to feel secure. And with that said, I think you can still be secure. And then in a dating environment, because it is so uncertain and there's so many games being played, there are things that can trigger old patterns. It can trigger some avoidance or some anxious attachment things. But because we were both so open on text and chatting so freely, and we knew where each other stood, it didn't trigger anything. So I was able to stay secure.
Yeah.
And it felt like that was the case for you as well.
Yeah. I think I was probably slightly anxious when I first met you because I've been cheated on more than once. And obviously that would make anybody anxious. But you just always have your guard up and you are so worried about it happening again that you sort of put things in place to not let yourself let go too quickly, or you're always looking for signs. But and I was honest with you about that. And I think the best thing about you is you really listened and you reassured me. I remember at the beginning when you'd go out with your friends and you'd message when you get home, you would like send me a picture and you're in bed. Little things I didn't ask you to do that you did because you knew that it would help me went such a long way. And yeah, we've had trust from the get-go. And it was hard for me to fully trust you or anyone, but you just did such a good job at showing me your true colours and your values. And I took a leap of faith and I'm so glad I did. But yeah, now fully secure and it feels so good. It's the best feeling when you are fully content, secure and happy because you can just fully let go.
Yeah, relax into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes a bit to get there.
Oh, it does. Yeah,
that's why I always say, like, if you're coming out of something, you need to give it space and time for you to show up as the best version of yourself into the next one.
Yeah. And going on to that, after my last breakup, I went to therapy. I was reading every self-help book there was, and Attached is a really good one to learn about your attachment style. I was listening to podcasts, and I think doing a lot of internal work. And then I think that energy, once you're healed and you sort of tracked what you're putting out, happened in our case because we are both looking for the same thing.
So true. And it reminds me of when Thomas came on the podcast and he was saying to attract your ideal match, you have to become your ideal match. So there's no point trying to attract this perfect person when you're not living in alignment with those values.
Yeah.
To get that person, you have to do the work so that you are living that person.
Yeah.
And I feel like we just had so many similarities. We attracted the perfect match for us at that time.
Aren't we lucky?
Aren't we lucky? Look at us go. But no, there's obviously challenges and
yeah, we're not perfect.
No one's perfect.
Every couple bickers, but
yeah, I think there's probably a few questions about that we can answer. Yeah.
So I've got one here from Chloe Mascord, who was actually on your show previously.
Yeah, friend of the show.
So Chloe says, do you know your erotic blueprints?
Yeah, so I hadn't heard of this either, but I asked ChatGPT. So go to ChatGPT and it does a quick run through. Basically, thank you for bringing this up, Chloe, because it's such a great question. Erotic blueprints are the sexual equivalent of love languages. So how you show up in the bedroom, I guess, or what you require from intimacy. So can you run through them?
So there's 5. So we've got number 1, energetic. People with this blueprint are turned on by anticipation, tease, and space. They enjoy the build-up, the energy exchange, and subtleties and connection, like eye contact or light touch.
Teasing, it's more anticipation and flirting.
Sort of the build-up,
the
chase maybe. Number 2, sensual. Sensual types are aroused by the senses, touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. Creating a beautiful, comfortable environment is key, and they often need to relax to fully experience pleasure.
Side note, you reading this could be an adult fiction audiobook.
Why?
Just your voice. It does things for me.
Well, clearly you're number 2.
Repeat number 2, sorry. I got lost in your eyes.
Okay, number 2, sensual types. Oh, now I'm thinking about you. Sensual types are aroused by the senses, touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. Creating a beautiful, comfortable environment is key, and they often need to relax to fully experience pleasure.
Okay.
Number 3, sexual.
Are you getting a bit red?
Am I? A bit blush. My eyes aren't the best. I'm like trying to read this correctly. Okay, those of the sexual blueprint are directly aroused by the act of sex itself, nudity and straightforward, genital-focused pleasure. They tend to desire immediate physical connection and orgasm.
Genital's a funny word, isn't it? It doesn't sound very sexy.
It's not most, attractive word. Number 4 is kinky. Kinky types are turned on by exploring taboo or unconventional experiences. This can involve power dynamics, sensation play, or experimenting with things that might be outside the norm.
What do you think? Let's guess each other's.
We got one more.
Oh, sorry.
Number 5, the shapeshifter. Shapeshifters are a mix of all the blueprints. They enjoy variety and can move between different types of turn-ons depending on the situation, their mood, or their partner. So, energetic, sensual, sexual, kinky, shapeshifter. What are you?
Well, let's guess each other's.
Okay.
Okay.
You go first then.
I think you are sexual.
What's straight to penetration?
No, we're going to have to go into the weeds here, but maybe it's shapeshifter where you do steal things from that, but we don't need to do a half an hour sensual touch session to get going.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time it can be more rapid, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
Tell them about the time on the Virgin cruise ship. Or are you going to get in trouble?
I'm going to have to cut that out. You dirty dog.
You are like a bit of everything, but I'd say you are sexual and kinky.
Kinky?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing things outside the norm. Like name where or what.
Yeah, okay. Do you think I was right about you? Or you don't have to say if you don't want.
Yeah, no, I do. Okay. But I do also like, when you give me a massage and it turns into something that...
Maybe I just gave the biggest boy answer ever.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're just sexual.
She likes my D.
She doesn't need a warm-up.
No, but then sometimes we don't. Like if you've had a few drinks, and it's like, let's get to it. Depends on circumstance.
Yeah, that's true. You got to adapt. Maybe we're shapeshifters then.
Maybe we are.
But yeah, good question.
Okay, back to next one we have from Vanelisa. I'm with my fella and it's going so well. All the green flags, but I've had a lot of experiences and I'm his 4th physical encounter. We're the same age and he's financially, emotionally mature. Should I factor this into anything?
It's so funny because if it was roles reversed, the guy would be pretty stoked that she's only had 4 encounters. The double standard.
Yeah. I guess that's more traditional.
Yeah. I think the most important thing is that he's financially and emotionally mature.
Yeah, so he's got a lot of green flags, she said.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if the problem is that he's only had a few. Is she worried that he's going to want more and he'll cheat? Or is she worried that he isn't experienced? I'm wondering what the problem is there.
Yeah, it might need a bit more context.
Because for some people, that could be a good thing.
It sounds like it's going really well.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of green flags and she hasn't mentioned that the sex is bad.
Sounds like a good bloke.
Yeah, he sounds like a keeper.
Yeah.
But it's weighing on her conscious. Why do you think it's weighing on her subconscious?
Yeah, I'm wondering maybe she feels more experienced in suggesting things to do because she's done them previously and maybe he hasn't. So
I think it's not a problem at all. And 4 is still a meaningful sample
especially
size.
if they are 4 relationships. Like it's not like he's only had sex 4 times.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more than that.
And with sex, the most important thing is just to communicate your needs and your desires. And if they can do that, if they have those channels, there's really nothing to worry about. You can keep improving, exploring and doing what you want.
Yeah, I agree. And everything's easier after you had a little drink.
Yeah.
No, I mean to talk about it.
Oh,
like maybe just go for a drink and, say what you want to do if he's not fully satisfying you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's weird. You come home from work, you're like, I need to talk.
Exactly. Yeah. If her problem is that he's not satisfying her, or there's things that she wants to do in the bedroom that he's not doing,
Yeah.
I would highly suggest to her that she just explains to him softly and in a, conscientious way.
Yeah.
But guys will love that. I probably speak for most of us that we love to explore new things and we want to satisfy our woman. So if she can let him in and let him know how he can do that, he'll be all ears.
Righto. Nina says, how have you preserved the spark in your relationship?
That's such a good question. We've been together for 18 months, so it's not a real problem that we've had to deal with.
Yeah, I wonder how long honeymoon period lasts.
I think it's generally a year or less.
Okay,
so we've made it through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think when you move in together, the honeymoon period goes.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, we moved in together after 6 months,
Yeah.
which was could be seen as fast, but it also felt right.
Yeah. It's a really good question. I'll start. It's something that's really helped us, I think. Well, it's helped me is being aware of your cycle. And when you do move from honeymoon period to more companionate style of intimacy, release the expectation that you need to be having sex every day or every 2 days. Get comfortable with having it in line with the woman's cycle. And this is actually really freeing and liberating. You don't need to have sex all the time. And the sex is going to be best when you're both horny. And I've honestly found that during that ovulation period of like 5 days in your cycle, when you're turned on, I'm more turned on. And I think it's probably an evolutionary thing for men that they get the most turned on when their woman's most fertile. So obviously you want to be careful about getting pregnant during that time. But just remember that the flip side of that ovulation period is the woman, the last thing she wants to do is be touched. So just keep your expectations.
Like, get off me.
Yeah.
Give me some food.
Give her chocolate. Yeah. But I don't know, understanding that cycle is actually really liberating because you understand that it's not going to be go, go, go all the time. The spark comes and goes, I guess. The spark fluctuates.
Yeah.
When it comes, jump on it, have fun. But when it's down, just be cool and remember that it'll come back next month.
Yeah. Very impressed with your answer.
Thanks, babe.
And I agree. And the app I use is called Flow, and it's been great for us because I was on contraception for 15 years and coming off, I finally felt in tune with my body. Having natural periods again and really understanding my cycle was one of the best things I think I've ever done. And yeah, you're right. Obviously, the week before my period, do not touch me. I'm hot. I'm bloated. I'm hungry. I'm not a fun time to be around.
No, you are.
But off the back of my period, life is rainbows and you're floating and everything's great. And that's exactly when you should make a move. But going back to the question, keeping that spark alive, I think we are very good at date night. And that is one thing that we've kept solid throughout, I think. Just once a week, making time for going for a drink, going out for dinner. Doesn't have to be fancy, just across the road for fish and chips. But having that time away from phones, away from the TV, and actually connecting and asking how our weeks were, how we really are. And yeah, I think that keeps the spark alive for me.
It's about those extra 5% of thoughtful decisions.
Yeah.
Whether it's keeping in mind each other's love languages and bringing home flowers or doing the washing up or saying I love you and sharing them in compliments because you know that their love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Also, for me as a male, it's been really helpful, and I've did a reel on this, to stop watching porn. And not that I was a huge watcher of porn, but I guess, stop masturbating too much. No, I'm not. I'm not, and no shame for people who do, but it's not like I was doing it every day compulsively. But when I stopped masturbating and saving that sexual energy, it was like it was all being funneled towards you. And even if you're not doing anything during the week, there's something about that energetic exchange which just builds so much tension and spark during the week.
Yeah.
So if you're a guy, maybe try experimenting with the period of masturbating less so that you're preserving your sexual energy and saving it for your relationship, because it does make a difference.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to the attachment styles, things like, yeah, I've had a really bad day at work and then you say, oh, babe, do you want a massage? And I'm like, that would be heavenly, because that will make me feel good because it's my love language. And I think it doesn't always have to lead to things. You're very good at touching me, not in a sexual way sometimes if I'm not feeling it, but I think that all goes into the same thing.
Yeah, and playing into the masculine feminine dynamics has also been good for us.
Yeah.
Being aware of that dynamic with your partner. And it doesn't mean that one's male, one's female. It just means, one is embodying more of a masculine essence, one is a little bit more feminine. And once you know those roles, and they change throughout the day, but for example, when you come home from work, if I can be masculine and take charge with the dinner, give you a big hug, you can relax into your feminine. That masculine feminine dynamic with your partner can be really helpful to keep that magnetism alive.
Yeah. And boys should always take the pins out. Jeffrey says, have crush on this girl, she's not reciprocating, how to deal with the feeling of one-sided?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. If it's just a crush and you're not really, I think you've just got to, hate to tell you, but I think you've just got to let it go, because the more you chase, the more it will repel her. And to be magnetic, you have to stand firm in your value and remember your worth. Obviously, don't be mean or rude to anybody, but just allow them to see your value and allow them to be attracted to you rather than you chasing and pushing her away. What do you think?
Yeah, I think from the girl's point of view, if a guy chases you too hard, it can push you the other way. But the moment they stop chasing and you have a sort of space to breathe, she might come to you if she does like you. But if she does like you and you're being too full on, that could push her away. So give her some space and see. If she wants it, she'll let you know.
Yeah, and if she doesn't want you, brother, you shouldn't want her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Nash says, do you have conflicts or disagreements, and how do you handle these?
I feel like I've been talking heaps, so you can start this.
Of course we have conflicts. We are only human. I will say we don't have big blow-ups. The one thing I think is great about us is we communicate so well. We're so open, and we'll always squash something before it gets too big. I think in past relationships, I would let things build and build and build, and then you explode. Whereas if something's bugging me or I'm not sure about something, I'll just say it in the moment or call you out or, see if there is a problem. We, I think, always nip things in the bud, and I'll just say if I'm feeling you're off or if you've done something I don't like, I'll say it right there and then. We'll have a conversation, and we never go to bed in an argument. I got taught that once, and I think we really live by that.
Yeah. You're so good at that. And I put up a reel the other day about stonewalling, when the man or woman doesn't have the maturity to express what they might be needing at that time. And I'm guilty of that. I can sometimes sulk like a teenage boy, and that's something I'm trying to work on. But you're so good in those moments, because you're like, Nick, what is it? Tell me. And then we look at each other and start laughing.
Yeah. Most of the time it ends in laughing.
Yeah. And that's another part of it. What I love about our relationship is that we're always giving each other shit.
Yeah.
Which sounds ridiculous, but it takes the power away from anything serious, because we're able to talk about it straight away.
Yeah.
And nip it in the butt. And it often just becomes a joke straight away, and we can be, oh shit, that's actually not a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
So true.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't advise people listening to just go and give their partner shit. But if you can establish that dynamic where you're constantly joking and goofing around,
yeah,
it just takes the edge off any conflict, doesn't it? Keep things lighthearted.
I agree. And I think listening is so important, especially for boys, because I think women tend to be a bit more emotionally mature and more able to communicate how we really feel. But for guys, it's harder. So I think make sure you have those conversations and really listen to what the other person's saying and try and come to an agreement together instead of talking over each other and one person's right, one's wrong, see it from both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. Yeah, girls are definitely better at communicating their feelings, and it's a challenge for men to step up and steer against all the programming we've had to bottle it up and just communicate your needs in a way that's not going to cause an escalation, I guess.
Yeah.
Be honest and speak from the heart, and
Yeah.
it's only going to improve your relationship.
Yeah, and I think always let someone know how something made them feel. So, for example, could be when you bailed on me and went to the pub with the boys, it made me feel abandoned or not loved. That didn't happen. You're a very good boy.
I'm trying to think about when that.
No, I'm an example because I think when people tell you how you made them feel, that always sticks with me, and I think you can understand what they're trying to say better. It's not the fact that you bailed and went to the pub with the boys, it's how they felt, how you made them feel. And then you don't want to cause that again.
Yeah, great question.
So up next we have Chloe. Chloe says, how do you balance relationship time and time alone? Any challenges?
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, that is.
I think because you have a corporate 9 to 5, we've never really had to worry about that too much.
Yeah.
Because we naturally have that separation throughout the day.
Which is good because I look forward to seeing you at the end of the day. I think
Yeah.
if I worked from home full time and we were in each other's pockets, you don't have that time to miss the other person.
Yeah.
But on the way home, I'm like, oh yeah, going to see Nick for dinner.
Or you'd have to consciously add that into your day
Yeah.
somewhere just to make sure that you've got enough separation.
Yeah.
Because separation is key, isn't it?
Oh,
Just-
100%.
Yeah.
And like on the long weekend just gone, you spent 5 days up in Queensland with the boys. And I loved that because it gave us time to miss each other, time for you to spend quality time with your friends and for me. And I think it comes back to being in a secure relationship. There's no qualms for me. I trust you. You're with boys that I love. And I think it's really important to have that time apart.
Yeah. So what advice would you offer if someone is struggling to find that balance?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can get lost in relationships.
Yeah.
I've seen it happen with both guys and girls where they stop planning things with their friends. Their whole life and their whole identity becomes that relationship.
Yeah.
So it's problematic because they lose their friends. But then if that relationship falls over, they lose a massive chunk of their life and they have to start again. So how do you think people can avoid that?
I think prioritizing time alone and time with friends. As we get older, it is harder. We only have 2 days a week on the weekend to make plans and everyone seems to always be busy, but plan things in advance, lunch with the girls, golf with the boys, or, time for your own, go to that yoga class you've always wanted to go to, or go for a solo run and it will do you wonders. And just having that time apart, you'll naturally feel then like you're very ready to see your partner again and actually want to, rather than, he's going to be at home again. I think creating that missing mindset.
You're so good at planning things with the girls and all of your different groups of friends.
Yeah, actually, just because I do have a lot of different groups. And does that ever bother you? Does it ever get in the way of our relationship?
I think men generally probably need more quality friends. But what I've noticed with you, and I don't know if this is a girl thing, but you've got such a wonderful, diverse group of friends. And on the weekends, I'll be happy to go play golf for 5 hours on a Saturday, and then that's kind of my social battery. Then on Sunday, I'm happy to chill.
Yeah.
But because you get so much energy from seeing all the girls, you'll probably go for plan all these different
Walks or-
events and things, which is great.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, I think the more separation, the more you can make sure that you're continuing to build your own robust life and sense of self, the better it's going to be for both of you and the relationship.
I agree.
Yeah. I've got a few more. So a few more have come through while we've been chatting.
Oh, wow.
Keisha sent one.
Keisha.
What made each other stand out when you first met?
Oh, that's a nice question. Stand out.
What were you initially attracted to?
Well, I think obviously the first time you see someone, it is physical because we hadn't really spoken yet. And I was like, wow, he's Aussie, he surfs, he's tanned, he's got great hair, great teeth, beautiful eyes. I was like, he's just,
Huge biceps.
and huge biceps.
Mine would be your accent, I think. Yeah, that sexy British accent.
Might be for
Does
much
seem to me.
longer.
Can you just say, hello, darling?
No.
Go on.
Hello, darling.
I think I made your voice note that to me.
Yeah, a bit weird.
Was that before the date?
Bit weird.
It was a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm kinky. Okay, Rob Martin, how long did it take before Nick asked you to no, we won't do that one.
Go on. Go on, finish it.
Oh, this is from the Hodge. A question to Miss Markel. Who do you love more, Oscar or Nick?
Sophie. I knew she'd do something spicy like that. Look, it's hard to distinguish because they're different species. So I think I can say I love them the same.
Okay, yep.
Oscar never pisses me off.
Yeah, he never does.
No.
What about this morning?
I love him.
Last question.
Okay.
How to navigate a long-distance relationship. What are some musts to make it work?
Is that from McKenna?
No. No,
Okay.
it's from Maritikako.
I can't actually say that I have done one, but what I would do is you've got to keep the spark alive. So set up times. I don't know if you're in the same time zone, but maybe have like a virtual date. Pour yourself both a glass of wine, light a candle, maybe order something in and eat at the same time and put the FaceTime there and pretend you're literally on the date and just get a bit deep and funny and flirty.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, making time for each other is a big one. I've done it once and it failed. You know the story.
Yeah.
So, but I guess learning what happened and what I did wrong could potentially provide some advice. So, yeah, to be vulnerable. It didn't go very well, and I ended up cheating on my girlfriend at the time, which wasn't my proudest moment. But what I learned from that process is that cheating begins way before anything physical has occurred. It's about letting your guard down and letting someone in energetically and giving them an idea that you're available. And you can tell when you're speaking to a girl or a guy and you're giving them an idea that you're available. There's a difference between friend and potential hookup or whatever. So you've just got to make sure that you don't cross that line and be really conscious, because you might be thinking, oh, just a bit of harmless flirting, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
A lot could go wrong. It's up to you to just put that boundary up before it's even a tiny possibility.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. If you're doing long distance, just make sure that you're not letting anyone else in and you're staying focused on the relationship. And just making sure that your energy and your thoughts and everything is still on that person back home.
Maybe a gift here and there out the blue, just let them know that you're thinking of them, or write them a postcard with a little love note on it, or, just do things throughout your day to show them that you're thinking of them. If you go to a cafe and a song comes on, let them know that, the song reminds me of you.
And that's doing it for yourself as well, because you've got to keep that momentum alive for yourself.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, it's not just doing it for the other person, but
Yeah.
it's to keep yourself excited and to make sure that you're staying in love. And
Yeah.
you can't just rely on that to happen if you're not seeing each other.
Yeah.
So do what you can to keep the spark alive on your side.
Yeah. I actually think, maybe I won't
No,
say
go
that.
on. I was just
It's
very
a bit
vulnerable.
sexual though.
Oh,
I think you can get these like sex toys where one person is using it and the other person's controlling it from wherever.
yeah. That could work.
be a bit
Or you could both get the Apple headsets and just toss each other off on the other. In VR, in the metaverse.
What the fuck?
Metaverse love.
Right, well, we're not getting you any of them.
Oh boy.
Well,
Holy dooly. Anyway, see those new robo-taxis? Babe, that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that.
that was fun. Maybe I will come back for round 2.
If you enjoyed this Q&A style, please let us know in the comments. It was fun for us. So
I'm down.
I love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye.